Let me get you on The Voice. You're a big man for the No campaign. Tell us what you think about the banks. A lot of Australians would like the banks to maximise the returns they could give us or minimise the interest rates they charge us, but it turns out the big four between them have donated $7 million to the Yes campaign, and judging by the polling, it hasn't done a hell of a lot of good.
Yeah, look, I guess as somebody that supports the No side of the campaign, I'm happy that these companies are doing it, because I think the average Aussie is saying, I don't want to be dictated to by multinational corporations and big banks on how to vote and how to think. But I think most of us would I'd just rather that everybody stayed out of this, except for the federal government. I mean, we've got state and territory governments taking positions on this when it has nothing to do with them. We've got corporates, we've got celebrities, we've got all and sundry trying to tell us how to think and how to vote. Let us make up our own minds.
Yeah, I think everybody should be allowed to donate to whatever campaign they like, but it's a matter of how well you run that campaign. And the Yes campaign hasn't been run very well at all. I'll come back to that in a moment. I just want to point out those live pictures you're seeing now. This is a live feed of Gaza, and as you can see there, a number of plumes of smoke. It would be relatively early in the day in Gaza at the moment, so that looks like, I'm speculating here, but obviously it looks like this is the result of Israeli rocket attacks into Gaza. So that's the latest in Gaza. We expect more of these rocket attacks from Israel into Gaza. A lot of anticipation of a ground assault in the future, which will be very, very dangerous for both sides indeed, as they look to eradicate Hamas from Gaza. Just finally, before we wrap up this segment, Susie, your thoughts on The Voice, and also this survey that shows that the killer message has been that The Voice is divisive. This push by the No campaign that it's racially divisive, that I think is just so misleading and wrong, but that's the one that's resonating with a lot of voters.
I think a lot of people are very concerned about the division that we're feeling in the community. Even in the Aboriginal community, there's a huge amount of division. And this isn't because of The Voice, this is because of the Voice campaigns and the way that both sides have been fighting this. One of the other issues that people in the No campaign, about 22% say they're voting against The Voice because of concerns that there's this spurious idea that any kind of decision made by Parliament can end up in the High Court, can be challenged by the High Court, and people are very concerned about that. It's not actually true. It doesn't happen that way, but that is one blow that the No campaign has landed very successfully. And, you know, at this point, the last thing...
But how can you guarantee that if the legislation hasn't been put in place yet?
Well, all right, guys, we're going to end this debate now because we have to get to a break. And I think no matter which side of the debate you're on, everyone's kind of glad that next week we won't be debating The Voice. So thanks so much for joining us, Stephen. Great to see you in the flesh. Susie, we'll see you next week.